All right. Okay, hi. Thank you for joining today. I am doing a discussion of the astrology from, I'm going to start it from September 7th, the eclipse that we just had, the lunar eclipse in Pisces. It's total lunar eclipse, meaning it's close to the nodes. And I'm going to go through everything that's happening till the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in February. So we're going to have dates and what I'm seeing as important aspects and everything like that. So hopefully my technology is on point. And let's see, double check that I know it's recording, so that should be fine. Okay. All right now. So as we get started here, really what my main focus is the how this is getting started, because we just had Saturn go back into Pisces. That would have been the very beginning of September. And Saturn going back into Pisces at the 29th degree, that what that means is we're in this kind of last really big transformational time period. Um, so let me see here. Okay, let me get all my text here. Okay, so that the September time period really is shuttling us to this deep time that will then land us in the total new era. So we had a glimpse of that. The planets that moved into the outer planets have all been changing signs. So we have Saturn and Neptune moved into Pisces in the spring. So uh, right now we have this 29 degrees Saturn in Pisces. So you can look back at the middle of May of this year, so 2025, middle of May, end of May of the 29-degree Pisces. Um, that would have been right before, so that means we've had June, July, and August. August it did go retrograde, but it's only September that it moved back into Pisces. So we've had a glimpse of this future world, and you can see how you feel. I know that the emotional piece is a lot easier with the planets moving into Aries, and we had the Leo season. We had Mercury in Leo, so it was all this fire, Uranus into Gemini. So and that's trining uh, Pluto in Aquarius. So that's bringing in all of the new information, the new people to work with, so much more community and discussion. And so the main piece being Pluto into Aquarius, and that is not going to change. We're done with Pluto in Capricorn, and that's why um, we should really know that the revolutions and the really the systems are on their way out. So things are going to massively change. I'm also a huge fan of human design and gene keys, so I'm also taking that into account. I'm probably not going to talk about, I'll see if any keys come up, but for me, my for I think it's been like at least 8 or 9 years, maybe 10 years, that I have been excited about the grand mutation of 2027, also February. So we will have that 1 year, that 2026 to 2027, where um, there will be this this kind of, we're bringing in all these new energies, and there still will be this ending of a larger cycle. Okay, so briefly human design, you can look all of this up, Google anything, Google 2027 grand mutation. Rahu Haru is the founder, and it's a whole downloaded system. I'll save that for another time. It's absolutely remarkable, and it makes sense for the bigger cycles we have going on. So, um, and this is changing. It's kind of similar to Pluto and Capricorn to Pluto and Aquarius because they call it the cross of planning. So these are about 400-year cycles, but part of a way larger cycle, and moving into the cross of a sleeping phoenix, and that will be much more of people really relying on their own sense of what's right and wrong and intuition, and not having to give up their own individuality for the sake of like the negative part, for the sake of the group. Like it's great, of course, to live your life for your family or culture, but you won't have to do it at detriment to yourself. And there won't be that that need to let go of really what you know is great for you, like what you really enjoy and who you truly are. So that's like the larger cycles. And so Pluto in Aquarius now is ushering that in with the sense of individuality and really sticking with the truth and what is really great for the most people, and not that what's good for just the few, the 1%, you could say. So so that all said, Saturn going back into Pisces is the theme right now. And so with the eclipses in the Pisces Virgo axis, really having that understanding of dealing with the metaphysical and emotional realms, the Pisces, and then the physical world, and how we kind of organize and get things done with Virgo. So with the eclipse on September 7th, that was at 11:08 a.m. Pacific time, 2:08 p.m. Eastern time, and using US times here, then that was at 15 degrees. The moon, Pisces moon, 15 degrees, the nodes are at 18, so total eclipse. And what I was talking about for this really big thing I saw, which you can see here, this grand water trine. Okay. So here's the Pisces. Here's the North Node. There's Saturn, by the way, and there's very close. This is not technically in orb because the moon's at 15, but the North Node brings it together, definitely. And, but yeah, it's not as severe as if it was with it. The next eclipse will be at 29 degrees Virgo. So, and here's the Virgo energies. Okay, so this grand water trine. So when you have a grand trine, you have all three of an elements. In can I move that? Sure, yes, of course. So you have Cancer, Scorpio, Cancer, Scorpio to Pisces. Those are the three water signs. So it's a grand trine. You have Jupiter, which is its favorite spot is in Cancer, so very emotional. So that's why I think we're talking about empathy right now. We're talking about, really caring, talking about the family. This is Sirius here, a fixed star, which is very much attuned to, we're talking about the summer and those really the influx of amazing energies that come in. This would be part of the sacred hoop that Native Americans speak about. This is where this what I think they say is that if our souls come in around here. So this whole area, and souls leave on the Capricorn energies in this area with the galactic center, Sagittarius. That's where the Milky Way is and all of the cosmos. So just touching on these things, I can always go deeper into them. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Okay. So all of this emotions, and then these are not planets. We have Black Moon Lilith, which is a point. It's a mathematical point. We have Juno, which is an asteroid, known as an asteroid goddess, as is Vesta. So Juno is about partnership. Vesta is about like where we're dedicated. We're just so passionate about we will do anything to just make sure that we're focused on it. And these have been together. These I'm just going to call them, I'm just going to call them, I'll call it stellium because it's not a planet. It's not a, it's not an asteroid or anything. So as, as, um, as a stellium, they've been together for a while and they've been in Scorpio for a while. So I've been watching that and noticing these grand trines, and they're pretty tight. So it's very strong. And like they're definitely a force. So this kind of dedication and promise to transformation here. This is the depth. This is, of course, Scorpio, so all of the difficult things of the violence and death and even you could say everything like Epstein files. This is all the dirty secrets. Like so, but it's also where we go deep to work on the psychology of it all. So it's all coming, all helping to come to light, um, feminine principles. And so if Demetra George has a lot of great information on these asteroid goddesses, there's four of them, and they are bigger than most of the asteroids, and them and Sirius has another role. So Grand Trine, and here you can see a kite. Here's the top of the kite. So that's the direction we're going, the Virgo energies. And this here is Orcus, which represents our cosmic, like our eternal purpose. And it's interesting, it's in Virgo and aligned right now very closely with that eclipse. So that is for sure. Um, we're getting, we're really doing like the work that we feel like we should be doing, like our soul purpose, not just, again, what we think we're supposed to do, what would be the right thing for our family or in this economy or something. So that is really good alignment. And that the kite is on the south node, right? So the software doesn't pull up the south node unless you put it on, but the north node being in Pisces is towards spirit. So we're evolving towards spirit right now. It's very, very important that we do all of the releasing, the letting go, the trust, the faith. The number one thing would be faith. Okay, so look at how your faith has changed. This, so we're about, I thought, yeah, we're only about a third way through this North Node in Pisces, which follows the long Neptune in Pisces, which has been like all of the spiritual movements coming back, and Saturn finishing that up. So, but Saturn is going to bring up the challenge of it. So, where we need to really dedicate ourselves towards spirit and faith and our spiritual alignments and trusting that, however you want to look at that. I like to think about our guides and ancestors and our own guiding spirit. So this is the last part of that, and it's so about 5 months long. This is not easy, not easy. 29, and then 29th degree is the last degree of the zodiac, is often called like the good degree of sorrow. So all of the sorrow of the world. So if you're not really feeling crying right now, you really want to look at that. Like not, of course, every day. You might have something going on that's really intense. But if something isn't going to break you, there's there would be something that you want to look at because you want to feel emotional. You want to release. There's not, I'm sure there's exceptions, but this would be the healthy way. And with the kites, we also are making sure that we're keeping all of this Virgo. The Mercury was the ruler um, of a lot of this chart, and so let's see, and that's got to do with if you go through the planets, because look, um, starting like the moon is governed by Neptune, Aries, Mars, Libra, Venus, Leo, the Sun, Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, which is that's where it belongs. So Mercury is also like a big part of this. And so heading towards this, really dotting your I's, crossing your T's, is super important right now. So balancing the nodes is a very interesting thing. So just making sure you're not doing too much of the anxious stuff. And um, you don't want to get too lost in the details. You want to keep it lighter and just keep checking in, making sure like how can I make this more streamlined? Am I pushing too much? Where do I need to let go? What project isn't working? What's not worth my time? And just keep chugging along, trusting like you'll be led to what's important. Look at all the change. The eclipse portals bring in massive amounts of change and new people. I've recently been connecting with new people that's very helpful and probably going to make the work a lot easier. So there we go. That's what's happening. And now moving ahead, let's go for it. And please bear with me. I'm getting used to all this technology. And let's see. And you also might know I'm a nomad too, so my whole setup is very simple. Okay. All right. So again, so the yin planets, all the water is very healing. You have a grand water trine, it's healing. If you have it in your chart, I'm sure you're a healer. So really going into that, like my progress chart now, only by progress chart, I have a very strong grand water trine, and I've been, I got my Reiki master, as of I think when did I officially 5 or 6 years ago, and yeah, doing intuition work and healing and things like that. So, um, yeah, that's all available right now, and then you're getting more downloads, more abilities, I'm sure, with this last bit. But you have to do the work. It's the work Saturn, means really dedication, really setting the intention to spirit, really letting go and letting spirit take the helm, and um then doing the work, doing a lot of work right now, but not too much where you go crazy. And so, oh right, let's see when we get up to speed here. Um, Let me see, please. I'm sorry, let me give me 1 second. All right. We can see here with that, the Scorpio energies, Mars in Libra, as Mars moves forward into Scorpio, this is going to get extremely strong. The Grand Trine. That's what I want to show. So I want to show what's happening. Okay, I'm going week by week here. So by the very end of September, 3 weeks, we'll have the Mars start to be in a water sign, but it won't activate that yet. And then full the solar eclipse will be this moon would move over to meet the sun exactly uh opposite Saturn. So Saturn will move to the 28th degree, moving back and back, so you can look, you're going deeper into this emotional work. While this is not easy here, because all of the things we're doing are going to feel kind of thwarted by this emotional need, by this spiritual need. And then if we look, it is still ruled, everything is going to go back to it's going to go back to Mercury, but let me see. Actually, yeah, because Mercury, ah, so Mercury and Venus will be this kind of co-leaders, governors of this eclipse, the Virgo solar eclipse in 2 weeks, which is not a total eclipse. And yet, so Venus moving into Virgo will be really, really more putting more oomph into our work. We're really gonna feel more like just more involved in it. It's gonna be um kind of what we want to do. And then there's also more of an urge to get kind of too critical. So with Mercury in Libra, okay, because Venus is, Libra is governed by Venus and Virgo is governed by Mercury. So it's called that mutual reception. It's like kind of both. It's going to co-lead this. Mercury in Libra is going to be, moving from Virgo to Libra will be also more focused on developing relationships. So but they're in harmony. And so this kind of go together. So it'll be relationships that help us with our work. We're going to feel this, energy to work. That does look great for collaboration. Really fantastic. And moving Mercury is going to be moving along with Maki, 5D cosmic planet. These are all these planets that are actually past Pluto. There are planets past Pluto. Say that 3 times fast. Planets past Pluto. Planets past Pluto. They 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 are amazing, and I should do a whole thing about that. I got a certification with um, Stephanie Ozeri of Cosmic Consciousness in 2015. Really amazing. That's why I have so much going on in my charts I look at. Okay, so that is cosmic justice. We love that. We want Maki to just be everywhere these days, and um, fantastic. So this will help really align us with what is best for the collective. Okay, Mars moving after the eclipse, Mars moving into Scorpio. Let's see, we slide along a bit, and then not yet watching Uranus here, but let's see. Um, so the Virgo season being done was a lot of integration, and now we'll be moving into this again, more social, collaborative after the equinox, and things are going to shift. It is a really big equinox chart. I'm not going to, I'll do a separate chart about that, hopefully. But I really want to, I just have like a couple points I'm finding and I'm really drawn to. So I'm going to focus on that. Each astrologer is going to be drawn to different things. And that's why it's so cool. So we're moving along, and okay, there's also, I think there's air. Yeah. So you can see as that air energy moves. Look at this. We have even before that, I want to keep it on the full moon thing there, but as the planets move into air, look, have this grand air trine. So we want to watch these inner planets because they're setting off these grand trines with this, because these outer planets are set up in a hat formation. Look at this. Got 1 degree, this beginning degree. And that is important. And let's see here. The grand air is when there's going to be definitely, I don't want to just focus on AI, but I'm sure that's the big theme for now. And we all have different opinions about it. It's one of the subjects I'm very political, but I have just kind of stepped back from AI because I know it's just a big force. So I know it's really important right now, and I'm not gonna really take a side about it. So I do know that when we have all this air, it's bringing all this technology in. We have Uranus and Pluto in air signs trining the Libra. Maybe that'll bring in more this human elements of how it can actually bring more harmony to people. So look at that after the around the equinox. So, of course, that's September 21st about, and just bringing that in. And then watching here, we're going to watch this. Now we just get a little more of that water with Mars, and we're going to have, so that Venus is going to then set off the air trine, and then Mars is going to set off this water. And especially when the moon hits the in Cancer with Jupiter, that'll be really big. And we're watching Mars. And let's see if there's any kites. I think that Venus, this is not really happening yet. That's not really perfect. So look how strong this one is. You see this? Okay, here we go. So October 19th, a bit-ish. I'm doing this just to show what I'm noticing with these grand trines happening. You have air and you have water, which technically isn't the Merkaba because they're yin and yang, but this is so important. Um, and they kind of share, right? Because when you have this kind of energies, you're kind of straddling this air and water. Excuse me, water and fire. So here's the grand air, very strong, especially right now, this time here, October 19th with the moon. Venus, that's very strong. So again, advances, you'll get really great ideas at this point. So really look at the news now and see what's what's happening. But look how this is like a long time. This is lasting a while. And then you're going to have the Scorpio energies begin. And we're going to prepare for the next Mercury retrograde while there's this deep healing happening. Because it's when you're going to enter Libra to Scorpio season. Um, what is that called? What is that called? Not realm of fire. Oh, the fiery way, the via combusta. Yeah. So when you have that Libra into Scorpio time is a very challenging time, like for our psychology, our mental stability, and to that we're really go deep into that. There's really like there's no handlebars, there's no rails, and you just are in that water. And this is very strong, but there's help because Jupiter in Cancer is very nurturing, and Neptune is here helping. The North Node is bringing in spirit. So the more you let go, the like, let go, let God, that really is what's happening. And then with all the air, of course, that could be too much mental chatter, but also like just having all these ideas and realizations and acknowledgments of what everything means and how it all works. I think it's really, really difficult and really exciting. And as far as, of course, world issues, this is painful. This is a painful time. I would not think things would be resolved. This is going into it. This is going into the fire. All right. Uranus is, we're just on the precipice of then Neptune going into Pisces, and Uranus is getting closer to going back into Taurus, which will be also a couple months of uh, bringing in more of the earth changes, bringing in changes to possibly the monetary system, which is the global system might be changing. And so really getting ready for that. So all this is to help you plan and get ready and just be ready for massive changes because this is the last big one. The last big one before we start to glimpse what it's going to look like, what the future is going to look like. In 2026 will show us a lot of that. And then 2027 will be this kind of more of like if we're having our the DNA change, the human design, that is more the like molecules change, everything shifting. There's these changes are back to back. They're happening. You have to look at why. So you're gonna have this massive yang change. That's why the AI don't. It's not. It can't be ignored because we have this massive technological breakthrough. Like it's part of the larger. changes of what being human is. And it's obviously less of a person like relying on individuals to do the busy work or figure everything out. There's other things obviously we're going to be freed up to do, and we don't understand that yet. Um, and then let's see, let's see. Um, okay, so Mars is going to set that off. I think there's a mystic rectangle involved, and I'm not seeing it right now. I know there's a mystic rectangle. I think it's earlier. I think I should do this in two. I'm going to do this in two um, videos because this is good for now, I think. And I will do a second video so I can get clear. I think there's a mystic rectangle that happens. I can kind of see it. Yeah. The Scorpio and Libra and the Uranus and this energy here, I believe. No, I, there was one. Okay. That's a, I kind of see it here. Yeah, it's not really. Okay, but look at that. The Grand there's one, but not really. That's eclipses. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. And let's let me do let me do a second video and I'll see you again soon. And thanks for joining me. And yeah, any likes, comments, questions, if you notice anything, if you have any questions, please let me know. And um yeah, thank you. Starry blessings and see you on the part 2.